Thank you for agreeing to do the interview with us today to help us with our project. Let's go to the first question, which is, according to you, what do you think are the problems or obstruction that can stop a student from asking questions or engaging in class?
Thank you, and thank you for choosing me to do this interview. You can see that the students currently, that we have to do this virtual learning and with virtual teaching, and they think that they can find another sources from YouTube or another, like they more prefer to do self study rather than straightly asking to the lecturer that currently doing the lecture. Me as a lecturer here, I am very welcome any uh distraction or any, like when the students unmute the mic suddenly and then they start to ask the question. I would really love that kind of teaching process, a teaching and learning process. So in that view, I think it's more preferable if the students can change a bit with the class, because two-way communication is much better than one-way communication. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And for the next question, I would like to ask that, do you think a topic is better understood if both sides take part in explaining it, such as the
Yeah.
students and the teachers both?
Yes. For me, if the students can ask me anything during the class, means that the students try to understand what I'm trying to teach on that day. So the conversation is two way. Like I said, if the student can ask something, means they try to understand. If they like keep it to themselves, means they don't even know what to ask, because maybe the presentation from the lecturer itself, the student don't get what the lecturer said in class. So it would be better for you guys to answer, to ask. If you don't understand even the certain topic, just ask the lecturer. They are willing to accept any question. Try to prepare the answer for you guys. Okay.
Okay. And how often do you find that students prefer asking questions personally after class rather than in class?
They did wait after the student left and try to ask me, but not regarding to the topic today, that regarding to something else, like group project or something. But for that particular subject lesson for the day, not yet. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for participating in this and
Okay.
helping. Okay.
Welcome.
So, Han, what are the factors according to you that limit engagement in the classroom?
So classrooms are meant to be interactive places, but for some reason, if it's not the case, it might be because students at times may be shy to ask questions. Students on their part have to eliminate this factor, because we all come there with the same goal to learn. Nobody's gonna judge you, and even if some people might,
Has it
but
has it
you
has
should
it
not.
happened has it happened to you sometimes that you had a question and you didn't ask it?
Yeah, on a few different occasions, maybe sometimes I might have been too shy, because maybe I was kind of skeptical that some people might judge me. I have held
Okay,
back at
so
times,
so
but
what did you do to get an answer to your question?
I tried to contact the teacher after the class, and they were very helpful on those occasions.
How uncomfortable do you feel before after asking questions about certain topics?
So a lot of times in class, the pace is too fast for me to keep up, or the topic is just confusing, but no one else is asking questions, and I feel like, what if my question is too severe, and I get very anxious of thinking about it, and I cannot ask questions. I feel very uncomfortable.
How has this affected your results?
This has very much affected my results negatively, because since I'm not able to ask that questions in class, and I get really, and I don't know that during my exams, and I get very anxious about it. I'm not able to think clearly.
How often do you see yourself facing this problem?
It happens very frequently, and
guys, Assalamu alaikum. My name is MD Mehdi Hassan and this is my groupmate Nafi Ahmed. We will walk you through the prototype design that is going to solve the problem. So our prototype will be an extension of UTM official app which will consist of two views, student views and teacher views. I will be described the student view while teacher view will be described by my groupmate Nafi Ahmed. So first of all, you have to open your UTM Smart and scan the QR code. After scan the QR code, the user interface should be like that, and if you notice on the top you will see as subject code, it will be automatically popped up after scanning the QR code. Here you can notice that already some student ask some different question, but their name is not appeared. Here you can also see other student can also answer those questions. If the student know the answer, they can type the answer or they can leave a comment over there. We can also see here we also have the up vote button, so if other students feel like they have the same confusion, they can vote up a particular question. So this ensure the teacher answered the trickiest question first. We have also taken care to ensure it's possible to send an attachment like PDF, docs or picture, so as to highlight a part of the slide certain student has a misconception on. And the most interesting thing is you can also use emojis when you asking any question or something, which makes sure that the app is engaging to use. Now my groupmate will walk through the teacher view by explaining the feature of our prototype that the teacher will have and what the teacher is able to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Mehdi, for describing the student's view. Now I shall carry the prototype explanation from here to describe the teacher's view. I will divide the teacher's view into two parts to easily explain how it works. The two parts that I shall divide will be during class and after class. For simplicity's sake, I would like to explain the during class view of the teacher first. As you can see, there is a start button at the corner here, which dictates when the teacher should be able to start the class and when the app will start being functional for asking questions. During class, the teacher is unable to see the names of the students who are asking questions. As you can see here, or their pictures. They remain anonymous, but only their questions will be popping up that the students typed out themselves. So no matter how silly the question is, this actually masks the student from laughter and embarrassment from other students that they might have had for asking a silly question. But instead, that particular question is actually getting answered. We can also see, as you can see here, there is a pin button. So you can see through the beautiful animation here that the pinned question is going above all the other questions. So if a question is important, the teacher can pin it so that other students can see the question that the teacher is answering. Or it can also be used so that the teacher can pin a question so that she can answer a certain question later, so that it is not forgotten, as the pinned question remains above all questions. The teacher also can see the number of upvotes. As you can see here, that a certain question has. So a question that has the most upvotes means the question was upvoted by the students, considering it's tricky. And the teacher can choose to answer that question first. because it has the most confusions. So the teacher can also see the comments that, as you can see here, that has been posted by the students. So the teacher can either choose to discuss on those anonymous comments or to point out if a certain comment is right or wrong. As you see in the corner here, there is a stop button as well. To press the stop button is to declare the class is over and that it is to be declared by the teacher. So the questioning session on the app will be over. It will display the screen as shown here as you can see here. Now I shall describe the after class view of the teacher. The main feature of the after view is, as you can see here, that the names are visible. So after class, the anonymity is unmasked, and that is to ensure the students don't spam in this app by thinking they're anonymous and that their identity won't get revealed. This wraps our description of the prototype, and now we will have the remaining members of our group carry it forward.
Means that the system here, the lecturer needs to install something, or there is a website?
No, we plan to make it a feature of the UTM Smart app, and
Okay.
the student would be able to log into a classroom just how they scan a QR code for attendance, and they would be directly automatically directed to the page of the anonymous question answer.
I can see the connection between your features, UTM Smart, student, and lecturer. Okay.
Yeah.
So since I also have the UTM Smart account, which I can easily access to what the student wants to respond. So I think it's quite promising. It's quite promising features where you also meet your objective, which is to avoid the where the students who whatever it felt maybe shy to ask or in between the class. So that's a good approach, by the way. Yes, because for me, because the features is the platform is already there, so it just needs another integration with the UTM Smart, and then which can easily be accessed between the students and me, lecturer. So I think, but for me personally, I think it's a good job. It's a good app. It's a good features.
And even though it can be used with UTM Smart, any other university, it's the basic idea, right? Any other university can integrate it.
Yes, true.
Yeah, so that's what we plan to do. Yeah.
True. Because I think as for now, every university have their own QR code, like UTM Smart, maybe a bit different. So additional features for these things also applicable, and it's good because it's easy to implement somehow because it's both party. And I think me, I personally agree with that project. Yes, I should because it's a good one. It is a good features. Especially, I'm also a very shy student previously, so I really hope that I can use that features during my studies. I just kept it to myself. All the things that I don't know, I just kept it to myself because yes, true. The one that you say that other student would felt like, you don't know this? Seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously, you want to lecturer to repeat this? That kind of things just kept the.
But then a lot of students actually face the same kind of problem.
Yes,
they don't want to admit
that's
it.
the truth. That's just where I'm not alone in that boat, by the way. So most of us share the same boat, but we kept it inside because we don't have that app yet, I think.
Okay, thank you. And if you have any criticisms as well, feel free to ask.
Criticism, not that much because it's very clear. For me now, it's very clear because it's a good one.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
So as you can see, this is the default view. You can see the anonymous questions here. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think this is something that students would actually find quite useful, because this is exactly what students wanted. They can now ask questions anonymously without any hesitation of the teacher, and they can ask multiple questions. So I think, yeah, that's a great step.
Okay, so we also added an upvote button on this, like you can upvote if you have the same issue. So your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that's a very useful feature, because multiple students can have the same question, and they don't need to retype it again and again so that the teacher can see. I mean, they could just upload a question and the teacher would understand that a lot of students have the same question. So yeah, I think it's this one's pretty useful as well.
Okay, so the next button you see to the right of it is the reply button. Basically, you can write a reply and everyone can see it. So what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think this could be very useful as well, because let's say there are a lot of students in the class and the teacher might not be able to answer all of the questions, and some of the peers might have some of the answers, so they could just reply to that question. Yeah, I think this would save a lot of time as well.
Okay, so the final features that we added are these. The first of these is the photo reply. So you can upload a picture. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think in some instances, like let's say if you have a question that has a complex mathematical equation, it can be pretty much impossible to actually type that equation into a question. So you could just take a picture. Yeah, so it's a very useful feature, because mathematical equations, as we know,
Yeah,
won't
of
just be
course.
hard; they will be pretty much impossible to type.
Yeah, type it out. To the right of it, you can see the attachment icon that we added for the files. So you can actually share files if you have. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think for instance, let's say if you have to share an entire file, like a source, a PDF with multiple questions, it might be actually much more logical to send the entire file than to type it out, especially a source code. That might be impossible to type it out. So yeah, I think this is one of the most useful features.
Okay, so overall, what do you think of this software?
I think it's a very practical software and very pragmatic, especially the fact that the students can ask questions anonymously. That's, I think, very helpful. I think it would drastically increase the student-teacher interaction and the amount of questions student asks.
Thanks a lot for your feedback. Thank you. We'll take note.
Our project dealt with problems faced by students in class by developing a software to help find a possible solution. We found that Chapter 3, Application Software, from our course Technology and Information Systems was apt for this project, as it teaches us about basic application software. Basic application software are end-user software, and they accomplish a variety of tasks. With features starting from posting questions and answers by students to the lectures features of pinning questions, our software also accomplishes a variety of tasks, where these features focus on enhancing engagement and experience in the classroom for both teachers and students. We also see that there are three categories of application software. General purpose applications help users accomplish simple tasks such as making presentation and managing simple databases. Specialized applications. As we can tell by the name, these are used for more specialized tasks such as illustrations and photo and video editing. Finally, mobile apps. These are mainly add-on programs for devices. Our prototype is based on adding an extra feature to an already existing university app such as the UTM Smart app. Therefore, we can conclude our software falls under this category. To help make installation of our proposed software easy, we have suggested that it be an additional feature of the already existing university app, such as the UTM Smart app. This is a practical approach, as the end users do not have to go through the process of having two different apps on their devices and have to register to each one of them. It can easily be synced and allow smooth execution if they are integrated together. There are a few things that we must keep in mind while designing an application software. It's a user interface which should directly be able to communicate and tell the users how it is to be used. It must also be pleasing to the eye and not too cumbersome. Even with huge number of features, each one of them should be distinct and easily recognizable. In our prototype of the UI, we kept the layout simple. The icons used, such as those for upvote, reply, pin, and attachments, are easily recognizable as they are consistent with most of the commonly used applications. Such consistent use of icons helps eliminate the need to introduce and describe each feature to the users. We also tried to match the color scheme of the UTM Smart app so the users can easily distinguish between the apps they use. The prompt for typing is kept simple with an instruction to type in their question or answer. The user can tap on it to bring about the keyboard so they can start writing. Now, my group member may explain another chapter that we relate to our project.
Overview of how we use the chapter System Analysis and Design from our TIS course to improve the efficiency of our project. System analysis basically can be defined in two ways. The first definition, as you can see, defines it as a technique that breaks down individual parts and studies them and studies how they interact as a whole. The second one is a rigorous evaluation of the system to improve the overall efficiency. A typical analysis is conducted using three processes. The first is the feasibility check of the system, the second is the fact-finding, and then the user experience. A technique usually is used. In most cases, it's the waterfall model that is used, in which the individual parts of a system are tested, and then it's basically a step-by-step process to check the system. Okay, so the first part is the feasibility analysis. It is done in terms of economics, social acceptance, and technological feasibility. Coming to the economics part of it, the viability for the end users and the cost analysis is taken into account, which basically means that the software of the project should be usable, which should be within the economic reach of the users. It should not be very expensive, or it should not include a lot of economic hurdles for the people to use. The impact on our project is that it's basically an integration to the university app, so it does not have an economic burden on the users. So 1B is social acceptance. It should be socially acceptable to the general public. It should not break the rules or regulations of a particular community or in general the defined social laws. Our project does not do any of those. It's just a project to help students engage better in class, so we pass this test as well. The third is the technological feasibility, which involves the cost analysis and basically the competitiveness of the project in the market. Our project, we don't intend to make money out of it, so we just don't need to do this feasibility check for our project. The second process in system analysis is the fact-finding measures, so in which we find the requirements of the users using various methods. We have interviews, questionnaires, and all other methods of collecting data. For our project as well, we did the same. Online interviews were conducted, and questionnaires in the form of Google Forms were made available to the students so that we could collect information from them. The third process is the user experience, which plays use again on three things: the general experience, the use, and then figuring out the potential misuse, if at all there is any. The first part of this is the general experience. It analyzes the user experience with the UI and how they toggle between the components of the system. Also, in the use case scenario, the developers also check various use case scenarios in which the project would be used. They analyze the way in which the majority of the users are expected to use, and they identify the components which need to be the most polished. In our case, it is the default screen of the app in which students ask questions to the